easily the biggest problem with this thing is that it only lasts like 8 seconds.
Look, I'm not really a drama YouTuber. I make boring improvement-based stuff, but I've been hyped about Ultron's release, and instead of that, my chat is now filled with people that are upset about how he's being released. So let's go over everyone's complaints and talk about how to fix them. Ultron is the epitome of rage bait right now. The thought of Ultron is a sick, long-range, control the flow of the entire game type character. But he's actually a flyer, a triple support, he has one source of healing, his healing gets dumpstered by practice range bots, which is embarrassing, and he has a support ultimate that doesn't actually do anything. So let's start there. I think this is the biggest problem. Just look at this. The Rage of Ultron spawns other Ultrons that rain down fire, that kind of create an area of effect that heals allies and damages enemies in the area. In my opinion, the biggest problem is that it only lasts like 8 seconds. If you're going to have a weaker ultimate, make it last longer. Luna Snow's ult lasts like 50% longer, and by far is way more useful than this one. It does do like 40 damage per blast. It shoots in bursts of like 4 to 5, which still is overall going to do less damage a second than like Punisher's rifle. But realistically, squishies can die pretty quick to it, and he does heal himself, so he can kind of be like a flying nuisance. But the ease it can be out-healed is kind of comical. Like a dagger healing bubble is going to stop your entire backline from dying. And comparing that to any other support ult, especially like Luna and Invis, kind of shows you just how useless this thing is as a character that you're supposed to be picking as a strategist, which typically has the most impactful ults in the game. This ult would be awesome if he just like overcharged and emitted a healing aura in a big area around him, maybe even recalls his drone for it if you find that necessary, and he's still got the blasters to rain down fire and just kind of let his whole team walk forward with it. Right now, support ults are absolutely game-changing, no matter what support you're talking about. And Ultron's just doesn't have that much impact unless they gut every other support ult whenever they release him to make them all even, which they don't have plans of doing. And while I'm on the subject of his drones, I'm so glad that Dive got gutted this season, because if Ultron came out while Captain America was still in his heyday, the community would be up in arms. One, it heals as much as being slapped with a wet noodle. It gets outdamaged by practice bots, which is insane to me. It's disrespectful because it's his only source of healing as a strategist. And two, it's the dream ability for the divers on his team. So, in the same patch they nerfed Dive finally out of the meta, they incorporated an ability that, if tuned to a level of relevance, is going to single-handedly make Dive broken once again. With that being said though, Magic Hulk and Black Panther are about to go crazy with this thing. People don't realize that that little bit of tick healing is actually a significant amount of healing in 1v1s or on heroes that already have decent ability to stay alive. So this ability is close to horrible as a frontline healer, is really good on DPS that play off angles or flyers, which is where I think Ultron is going to shine, which I'll get into later, and is going to be the most annoying thing in the world when placed on divers or flankers, provided that they're not outranging it. How to fix it? Personally, I wish it was a little AI drones that kind of flew around the map and auto-targeted your team, maybe with a switch to change them from healing to damage mode, or, and probably for the better change, just make it amplify the healing by how many people are in the area. That way, flankers and solo players receive small amounts of healing over time, but tanks and people that play around the team kind of get big benefits for staying with the team. Ultron's shield ability, Imperative Firewall, is actually giga strong looking. People are clowning his entire kit, but it's an instant 75 hit point buffer that kind of originates from himself and also shields everyone in the drone's radius too. You can also see that it stacks, which to me looks like if you're in the drone AoE and near Ultron, you're going to get 150 bonus HP max, which is pretty sizable at that point. And 75 bonus HP is enough to either give your diver or off-angle DPS enough bonus HP to buffer their way through their fight, or with one button press, completely stop the bursty divers from being able to kill you, primarily Spider-Man. The amount of time it takes newly nerfed Spider-Man to do 325 damage is kind of comical. So everyone saying Ultron is in danger of Spider-Man because he's a flyer is totally wrong. One button press gets him outside of Spider-Man's easy kill range. If you wanted to leave Ultron's entire kit alone, then you could maybe give this ability a 25 bonus hit points per second lasting effect for like 5 seconds to a max of 100 or something, but the ability by itself is strong enough on a 10-second cooldown that if you change something else on his kit, I think this one's going to stand alone pretty easily. And finally, the thing that kind of obviously is what the devs want to be the bread and butter of his kit is Ultron's primary fire. It's a charge beam that does about 150 damage per shot if you hit every tick and the burst at the end. It has a relatively slow fire rate, so solo kills are going to be a little bit harder to come by, but the fact that the range is unlimited is going to make Ultron viable. Everyone thinks Ultron sucks right now, but Ultron, hella Hawkeye, with a Magneto solo tank, is going to be a dominant team comp. The squishies are going to have a tough time living. If Hawkeye hits a body shot, or Hela hits a headshot, Ultron can finish that kill that they're struggling to finish from anywhere on the map. And that utility alone to enable picks is scary enough, in my opinion, to warrant how weak he's seeming to come out on release. There are a lot of ways to change Ultron's primary fire, give it a little bit more damage, make it a little stronger, but I think it will be the defining part of his kit, and I think it's probably totally fine where it is, and it's really the reason they're scared to power him up on release. But personally, I'm a big fan of bring him out strong and nerf him as you go. It kind of adds a little bit of excitement to the season whenever it first starts. As far as the flight and the team up go, that's kind of whatever. I think the Iron Man team up is going to make him viable in a double healer comp instead of just triple heal comps. But with the Iron Man nerfs, his play rate is also going to go down a lot. So a couple weeks after release, the team up's really not going to be seeing that very much anyway. But I think that's about it. Like, subscribe, and argue with each other in the comments to help me out with the algorithm. I'll see you guys soon. Follow me on Twitch. Peace.